Technology in GIS never slows down. New integrations, smarter tools, and evolving ways to collaborate make it an exciting space to keep up with. Each season brings something fresh, and that's exactly why we're here. In this seasonal Getting Technical update, we explore what's new, what's changing, and why it matters for your spatial workflows. Today, that includes a look at updates to ArcGIS for Microsoft, important changes in the Living Atlas, and evolving capabilities in ArcGIS Hub. Welcome back to Geographical Thinking. I'm Michelle Brake, and I'll be your guide as we explore ideas, stories, and conversations through the lens of geography. We're thrilled to bring you another edition of our tech-focused segment, Getting Technical. Each season, we tap into the expertise of product specialists to highlight the updates, enhancements, and innovations shaping the ArcGIS ecosystem. In today's episode, we're exploring a trio of topics across the platform. First up is Erica Corbett, kicking things off with a deep dive into all things ArcGIS for Microsoft, walking us through new capabilities and what they mean for your day-to-day work. Then, Malena McCrossan takes the mic to spotlight important updates in the ArcGIS Living Atlas and why keeping your metadata fresh is more essential now than ever. And finally, Catherine Ann Currie rounds out the episode with an overview of the latest developments in ArcGIS Hub, plus some changes you might want to know as the platform continues to evolve. Let's get into it. Over to you, Allison.
Thank you, Michelle. So as she mentioned, we do have 3 great Esri Canada members, or I like to call them subject matter experts with us today. We'll start our chat with Malena about ArcGIS Living Atlas. Then we'll hear about ArcGIS Hub with Catherine and we'll round off the episode with some information about ArcGIS for Microsoft with Erica. Hi, Malena. Welcome to Getting Technical. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm really excited to chat with you. And I know you are no stranger to Esri Canada podcasts. So welcome back. We're super happy to have you with us today. And maybe for those who haven't met you yet, can you give us a little reminder of what your role is here?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm one of 2 of the Living Atlas curators here at Esri Canada, and we're both responsible for pretty much all of the Canadian content that you see in the Living Atlas. So we will curate content nominated by users, and we'll also curate content and create content that we know our customers will need to use, like our live feeds.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So since you are the expert on all things ArcGIS Living Atlas, let's just give a little overview of what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So for those that aren't familiar, the Living Atlas is really just an ever-evolving collection of spatial content that is really from the collective work of the global GIS community. So it's really at its core a tool that connects the GIS community by providing ready-to-use maps, apps, tools, and layers that you can use in your everyday workflow. But here at Esri Canada, we really wanted to also further highlight a lot of the work that the Canadian GIS community is doing. So what we've created recently is a new dashboard that really highlights all of the Canadian content that you see in the Living Atlas. And in that dashboard, you're able to see all the new trending items, and you're able to track how popular your item is based off of its usage since it's been added to the Living Atlas.
It's nice that there's an actual dashboard to see that, because I'm sure everyone wants to be creating content that people are actually using. So that's great that there's a dashboard. So I'd love to chat a little bit about the road ahead. What kind of updates should we be looking out for this year?
Yeah, so last year our big focus was really on improving the quality of the content in the Living Atlas, and we are really just expanding upon that as our goal for 2026. So last year we announced our migration project. So that's where we really centralized all of the Esri Canada content that you see in the Living Atlas to one ArcGIS Online account. And this really helped us streamline how we update and maintain our content. And it also made it a lot easier for users to be able to find and access our content. So in 2026, our big focus will be expanding upon that usability of that content. And to do that really requires a big push on updating and improving the metadata for all the Living Atlas content.
Very, very cool. So why is it so important to update the metadata?
Yeah, so for those that aren't familiar with what exactly metadata is the information about your content and its data. So it is the key to really unlocking the full potential of your content. And it really improves not only your searchability and supports data governance, it also ensures that your data is reused effectively. So metadata is actually really extremely important to AI. And I think everyone can attest to everywhere you look now, there seems to be AI involved, and the GIS world is no exception. So, in the last year, we've really seen AI assistants being added across the ArcGIS platform to support your work in either data collection or visualization, app creation, and coding. And we're going to continue to see that expansion of AI, especially around the tools that interact directly with your data. And that's why having high quality metadata is so important. So we'll set your data up for success to be used in new AI assistants, such as the Data Explorer Instant app that was announced last year at the UC, and the ArcGIS Hub AI assistant.
Okay, so users update that metadata. So what kind of resources are available to users who maybe need to update their metadata?
Yeah, so we know metadata can take a lot of time and effort to update. So Esri has created a bunch of resources to help you do this. And the first one I would take a look at is actually just the Living Atlas's new Evaluate and Nominate app, which you could be found right on the Living Atlas website. So even though you don't plan to maybe nominate your items to the Living Atlas, the app does help you review your metadata and gives you suggestions on where it can be improved. So it looks at all the key metadata elements of your items, such as the title, summary, description, as well as field aliases and descriptions. And the app actually gives you a score along with some guidance on how to improve that item score. And you can even edit some of those key metadata elements directly in the app. And the other one would probably be the item details assistant. So this is currently in beta, but it will be coming for ArcGIS Online very soon. And the item details assistant actually leverages AI to make metadata more complete and ready to use. And you simply just interact with that generative AI directly on the item page. So you receive suggestions for completing and further enriching your item's metadata just right there.
Very cool. Those are some great resources. So thanks for sharing. And maybe to finish off this segment, how are people able to nominate their items to actually be a part of the Living Atlas?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, you can use the Evaluate and Nominate app, which is found on the Living Atlas website. And to be eligible for the Living Atlas, your content must meet certain criteria, and that's all outlined in that app. And one of those does include completed metadata. But I highly encourage everyone to take the time to nominate their content, and as it makes it easier for not just others to find and use all of your amazing content and data, but we love to also support and celebrate your organization's really hard work and effort that is included in the Living Atlas, and then we can help build that GIS community as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Malena. Thanks for giving all that great information. It was really lovely talking with you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So that was Malena, our Living Atlas curator. And next up, we'll chat with Catherine Ann about ArcGIS Hub. Hey, Catherine Ann, welcome to Getting Technical. Thanks so much for being here. This is a new, our first time for you on the podcast, right?
Yes. Thanks so much, Allison, for having me. It is my first time on the podcast, and I'm excited to get into all things technical with you today.
Great. Okay, so let's start off with just an easy question. Tell us a bit about your role here at Esri Canada.
Yeah. Here at Esri Canada, you might know, but the audience might not. We work on the same team here on the technical marketing team here at Esri Canada, and my role is a technical solutions specialist. And specifically, I do a lot of work with ArcGIS Online and a lot of the products in that online sphere, ArcGIS Hub being one of them.
Perfect. So basically, you're the perfect person to talk about ArcGIS Hub today with us. So can you start off maybe if we want to get into this ArcGIS Hub chat, can you start off by talking about the update schedule, since it's actually a little bit different than ArcGIS Online, right?
In contrast to ArcGIS Online, we see more frequent updates actually in ArcGIS Hub, which is really nice. So one of the things that I like best about working with this product is that features are added to ArcGIS Hub in a more progressive manner. So new releases are actually made on more of a weekly schedule. And so often this will include things that they're fixing, things that have changed within the product, and as well new things. So with these weekly updates, things are getting updated all the time. And a great way to track this, actually, they have an ArcGIS Hub change log. So if you were to look that up, you can find all of the different changes that have been made to ArcGIS Hub. And the great thing too about the change log is that it dates all the way back to 2017 when ArcGIS Hub was first released. So it's really handy to have all the changes that have been made over time documented in one place.
That is some really good information. So there's a couple of different types of ArcGIS Hub versions, right? Can you talk us about or walk us through those?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the ones that you're talking about right now would probably be ArcGIS Hub Basic, Premium, and then Enterprise sites. So I can chat a little bit about each of those. The first of those being ArcGIS Hub Basic. And this is the normal ArcGIS Hub that is included with your ArcGIS Online organization. And so this allows anyone within your organization who has Creator, Professional Plus, etc. privileges the ability to create, manage, and share websites that showcase any of their data and apps. So this is kind of the most basic version of Hub that you might think of. The second one being ArcGIS Hub Premium. And this kind of takes everything within ArcGIS Hub Basic to the next level in terms of collaboration. So ArcGIS Hub Premium is a paid subscription service that unlocks a secondary Hub community organization, and that allows you also access to other features like projects and events. So one of the great things about ArcGIS Hub Premium is that it actually allows you to directly connect with and work alongside volunteers, members of the public, or any other community members that you might have that aren't necessarily a part of your internal employee organization. So it kind of unlocks a whole new sense of collaboration within ArcGIS Hub, which can be really handy. In terms of ArcGIS Enterprise, you're going to want to think of this as the ArcGIS Hub Basic equivalent for those of you who might be working in ArcGIS Enterprise rather than ArcGIS Online. So you're going to see a lot of those same features, but do make note for Enterprise sites that it's going to have a different update schedule than the regular ArcGIS Hub Basic would, because it's on your ArcGIS Enterprise. So it's going to update alongside that.
Very, very cool. So a lot of different types of ArcGIS Hub sites. So that's a lot of information, but very, very good stuff. You did mention that ArcGIS Hub is like it updates quite frequently, right? So where can users go? Maybe if something isn't working as expected, and or if they have any questions about that, who can they reach out to?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you notice after an update to ArcGIS Hub that maybe something's not working as it once was, or maybe there's a behavior happening that you wouldn't quite expect, a great resource to go to would be our Esri Canada technical support team. They're really great at helping out if our users have any questions about things happening within the product or if things aren't working as expected. They're a really great resource to go to kind of get some help with that.
Yes. Okay. Agreed. Our technical support team is so smart, great at answering all those questions. So that's a great resource. And maybe let's dive into some new features that are kind of cool, or maybe some ones that you want to highlight.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been waiting to dive into this topic ever since Malena kind of touched on it during her part of the podcast earlier. But she did mention briefly a little bit about the ArcGIS Hub AI Assistant, which is one feature that I really looked forward to highlighting today as it's something new. So the ArcGIS Hub Assistant is currently in beta right now. And so this is something that's going to be able to be accessed through ArcGIS Hub Premium. So this is going to be something that's for those kind of premium subscribers. But the ArcGIS Hub Assistant is designed to help you interact with your open data more intuitively. So Malena was kind of mentioning that it's super important to have your metadata up to date and filled out so that you can use tools like this. So this AI assistant is going to be something that's embedded within your organization's hub site itself, and it's going to interpret natural language questions and translate them into answers using the public data sets that you have shared on the site, which is very cool and very exciting. And again, this is something that's going to come with that ArcGIS Hub Premium license. So if that's something that you're interested in using, whether in the beta or once it's released fully, you're going to have ArcGIS Premium to have access to that. So that's one feature that I wanted to mention today, as this is something new and upcoming and pretty cool.
Amazing. Is there anything else, like other than some AI things, anything else that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, there is also one other feature that I wanted to specifically mention today, and that is the addition of ArcGIS Hub workspaces. And this is something that's new to ArcGIS Hub, not quite as new as the AI assistant, but still within the last year or so. And it's something that's going to become really important. And so it's a way that you can kind of manage your content, groups, and people all in one place. And it allows the opportunity to work with some different features like automated updates and enhanced events. And it also has the addition of ArcGIS Hub catalogs, which we can dive into a little bit deeper later if that's something that you haven't heard of yet. But one thing that I wanted to make note about ArcGIS Hub workspaces is right now it's just kind of optional whether you want to choose to work with it or not. But it is something that you're going to want to transition to work with sooner rather than later, because it has recently been announced that the classic edit mode within ArcGIS Hub will be deprecated in 2026. And so this is where Workspaces is coming in as kind of the replacement for the classic edit mode and kind of offering an upgrade to that. So if you're still currently working in the classic edit mode, you're going to want to take a look into ArcGIS Hub Workspaces to kind of get a head start on that before its deprecation later in 2026.
Very good to know, but I am really curious about these catalogs. So can you dive a little bit deeper into those? They sound pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, they make working with ArcGIS Hub a lot easier and more organized. They're kind of a new way that you can configure what content and events appear on your sites, initiatives, your projects, and things of that nature. So it's a way really that you can organize and choose specifically what content you're looking to share on each one of your pages and sites for your users and what information you want them to have access to, which is really handy. So another way that we're kind of using hub catalogs as well is if you set up a catalog specifically for one of your ArcGIS Hub sites, you can even go ahead and refer to that catalog in the ArcGIS Online Map Viewer when adding data. This is something that's been added pretty recently, and it makes it simpler than ever to kind of make web maps based off of the information that you have within your ArcGIS Hub site using that catalog, which is really handy. And recently as well, they've even gone as far as to upgrade your ArcGIS Hub catalog experience. So you have the option now to even go ahead as a site editor and unlock even more expanded functionality within the catalog itself. And so if you go ahead and upgrade your catalog, you're going to have the opportunity to even dynamically filter all of the available content and collections. And even you can go ahead and create custom groupings within your catalog, which just serves as an additional way to kind of organize your content, whether it be based on theme, purpose, or topics that you define yourself, which can come in really handy.
Really great feature. I'm really excited for that. I'll hopefully dive into that this year. But maybe you can mention one final cool new feature you think that users should be aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll keep this one short and sweet for our last fun feature. But something really cool is now ArcGIS Hub is supporting the visualization of 3D data sets when exploring maps. The enhancement expands support for additional layer types, the ones that you would think of course, feature layers, but as well image layers, raster layers, vector tile layers, and even map services, which is going to come in really handy. So you can put all of these into your ArcGIS Hub sites now and interact with them right within the map on the page.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Okay, cool. So maybe one final question before we close it out. What type of training can people maybe do to stay up to date with ArcGIS Hub?
Yeah, absolutely. The Esri Inc. team works hard to, put together updated trainings, which you can find online, whether that be you want to get your first start into working with ArcGIS Hub. They have tutorials on how you can go ahead and get started straight from scratch, and they walk you through how to do everything. But as well, if you're looking for kind of a more hands-on or personal experience, here at Esri Canada, we offer an instructor-led training for getting started with ArcGIS Hub, which is called Get Started with ArcGIS Hub for your organization. So if you're looking for more of kind of a hands-on experience with an instructor that can provide feedback on any questions that you might have, this is going to be a great option, and we offer that right here at Esri Canada.
And our instructors on the training team are great. So I'm sure that's a really great course to take. Well, thanks so much for being here, Catherine Ann. That was some great information.
Yes, thanks for having me.
That was Catherine Ann Currie, a technical solutions specialist from our technical marketing team. Next up, we have Erica to teach us about ArcGIS for Microsoft. Welcome to Getting Technical, Erica. How are you?
Thanks, Allison. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Remind me, is this your first ever podcast?
First ever.
Oh, that's very exciting. Very, very
It
exciting.
is. And it's Friday, so
It's a good
energy
day.
is high.
Okay, let's start off with an easy question to get you warmed up then. Can you let the viewers or the listeners know what you do here at Esri Canada?
Sure, yeah. So like Allison said, my name is Erica. I have been with Esri Canada for, I'm going on 8 years. I think it's 7.5 years now. And how that happened, I have no clue. I keep getting older. I guess that is how time works. But yeah, I've been in various roles. I started as an associate. Shout out to the associate program at Esri Canada, where they hire new grads across Canada. So I was lucky to slip in there, and then from there, I did some technical support. I joined the national training team after that. I worked in consulting on ArcGIS Enterprise and ArcGIS Online projects for a couple years. Now I'm a technical solution specialist on the Atlantic sales team. So that pretty much means I'm the techie on the sales team here in Atlantic, Canada, doing everything from it could be a pre-sales demo, it could be building a prototype for a client to try out, support, solutioning, planning events, all that kind of fun stuff. And now I'm on the podcast, so
So you have a lot of hands-on experience with working with any of the products, I guess, right?
yeah, mostly my experience is in the core tech
Yeah.
and some enterprise.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Okay, so today we are going to dive into the ArcGIS for Microsoft platform, right? So can you just give us a little bit of an overview of like what's included in it?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm really excited to be talking about this because I feel like these products are underrated, to be honest. There's a
Mhm.
lot that they can do. And so I recently learned apparently this partnership started back in 1987, which is
Wow.
before you and I were born,
Yes.
Allison, I think.
It is.
And it's still evolving. So um, we're leveraging enhancements in location intelligence, cloud computing, data analytics, and it's shown all across the platform. So the platform is actually bigger than I realized when I first started learning about the Esri products that are offered in it. So we have the productivity tools, which I think most people are probably familiar with. So that's what's known as Microsoft 365. That's what most people are probably using day to day, like our Excel, our Outlook, our SharePoint, our Teams. But specifically for the ArcGIS add ins, we're going to see them in those three areas: Excel, SharePoint, and Teams. So that takes the tools you already know and it basically embeds some geospatial capabilities right inside them. Then there's the Power Automate. So ArcGIS also integrates with Power Automate. So, building those spatial capabilities right into automated workflows. And the cool thing is those flows can be part of an agent in Copilot Studio, which powers those AI driven processes. This is like next level stuff.
Yes.
Um, And if you can imagine like a trigger based on an event or a schedule, like a new record gets added to a table and boom, I get a Teams notification about it, for
Wow.
example, if there was an emergency or something like that. And then Microsoft Fabric. There's a lot of talk about Fabric today. We have more and more clients using Microsoft Fabric. And if you don't know about it, you can kind of think of it like Office 365. So you can think of it like those productivity apps, except instead of productivity, it's all about analytics and AI.
Okay.
So the Fabric portion of the platform does include Power BI, which most people are familiar with. And that has the ArcGIS widget in it that many people use today. And then there's GeoAnalytics for Microsoft Fabric, which is available, where Esri really enhances the analytics, um, letting users process massive location data sets. It could be billions of points right inside of Fabric. Something brand new that came out in the platform, I think this past November in Fabric is called the ArcGIS Map Viewer. And basically you can explore your data in one lake, click on a table in your warehouse or lake, and instantly bring it into a web map just like you would in ArcGIS Online.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
That's a lot. That was a mouthful, but the platform's really big.
yeah,
There's
I
a lot
didn't
offered in
realize
it.
that is
Yeah.
great. Like
Yeah.
that's really cool. I'm really excited about this talk. So, I'm curious what type of license, and I'm sure the viewers are like curious about this as well. Like, what type of license does it require?
Yeah, so in order to use these tools, you of course need Microsoft access. So first of all, you need to have a licensed user within Microsoft with those Microsoft apps that you need. And then on top of that, you do need a named user in ArcGIS Online. And if anyone's familiar with the named users, it's exactly what you'd imagine it to be. If you have a viewer level license in ArcGIS Online, you can view content in Microsoft, ArcGIS content. Now, if you have like a creator level license, then you can start to utilize some of those spatial analysis tools, which create new outputs. And that's all without leaving the Microsoft platform.
Okay. Okay. Very, very good information. So if you guys want to do things with it, you need like a creator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Instead of
If you
just
want to,
viewing.
instead of just viewing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. And then maybe my next question is kind of like, what's the big value of like integrating GIS into Microsoft 365? Like instead of asking people to open like a separate GIS app.
Yeah, no, great question. And that's kind of the big value in it is kind of not asking people to open a separate app.
Okay.
I recently heard from the ArcGIS for Microsoft product team down at Esri Inc. about this study that was done in Harvard in 2022 of Fortune 500 information workers. And the study was all about switching between apps. And like I do it in my personal life all the time. You know,
Yeah.
you're on your phone and you're looking at like 12 different apps. But at work in particular, I guess employees switch between apps and websites 1,200 times a day.
Wow.
Each switch takes about 2 seconds, which is about 40 minutes a day, which is 4 hours a week, which is 5 full work weeks per year, and basically about 9% of an employee's annual work time. I personally think the switch takes longer than 2 seconds, especially if you have to log in.
Yeah.
But yeah, these micro distractions really reduce people's efficiency.
Yeah.
And you know, if organizations do want to boost productivity, that's what these products are designed to do. Most of our clients are a Microsoft shop anyway.
Mhm.
So and I get really excited, especially targeting those who aren't even native GIS users.
Yeah.
They're likely comfortable in um, some piece of the Microsoft platform. So these tools kind of enable people that are beyond our reach as a GIS company to take advantage of a spatial component where they're already working without needing to switch apps.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
really good point.
it's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's very cool. You did mention geoanalytics, I think, when you were describing all of the products before. So I think you talked about it with Microsoft Fabric.
Hmm.
How does like geoanalytics for Microsoft Fabric change things?
It's really a game changer, especially for data scientists, BI analysts, business professionals, and a lot of times these people using the tools in the geoanalytics for Microsoft Fabric, they don't even really realize they're necessarily doing GIS,
Okay.
but they're using the tools we're providing them right in Fabric, and it's saving lots of time. Something that used to maybe take weeks or days
Yeah.
can take minutes with these tools now. So they're enriching data spatially, or running advanced analytics, or feeding location into AI models right inside of Microsoft. And like, because this is in Fabric, it's they can process. I mean, some organizations have millions and billions of records that
Yeah.
they're processing directly in Fabric with these advanced analytics tools.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very cool. So let's get into something a little bit more fun.
Okay. It is Friday.
Right, it is Friday. So there's a
Yeah.
lot included in the platform in terms of ArcGIS add-ins, but which piece is your favorite?
Good question. I'm excited about this. And I was recently kind of converted. My favorite kind of changed recently after talking to the ArcGIS for Microsoft product team down at Esri Inc. and reading a blog written by Sean McGinnis,
Okay.
principal product manager of that team. And he wrote about a modern workplace. And, you know, workplaces have changed so much since COVID. And if I think about Esri Canada, um, when I first started pre-COVID, we didn't use Microsoft Teams.
True.
We used other forms of communication. A lot of times, I was picking up an actual phone and calling someone, if you can imagine that. And I didn't know what anyone looked like outside of. I started in the Vancouver office. Outside of there, and using Microsoft Teams really was a game changer once we started having conference calls. And I've heard it before. Why on earth is there an ArcGIS add-in for Microsoft Teams? But it's honestly really one of maybe the most impactful integrations of them all. And that is because every single person at the organization uses it. There's not one person at an organization who wouldn't have access to the Teams application if they're a
Yeah.
Microsoft shop, right?
Yeah.
And and as well, I can't think of another single ArcGIS app that includes a chat and a video capabilities
Yeah.
with GIS included in that.
True.
So we can basically bring our authoritative apps and maps directly into the collaboration hub that is Teams, share dynamic maps right in a meeting, right in a chat, um, and mark it up and watch data dynamically changing, or watch an event unfolding while I'm on the phone with someone or while I'm chatting with someone. So basically, Teams has that collaboration. Um, whether you're conference calling, chatting, sharing large files, screen sharing, using Copilot, recording, with the addition of the dynamic maps and apps, it is a game changer for a lot of industries, and it's very slept on. I
Yeah.
don't know of a lot of people using it, but yeah, that's my favorite.
Great choice. I have had
Long-winded
some
answer.
people, but I've had some people use it in meetings and it's very cool.
Hmm.
It's a very great feature.
Hmm. Hmm.
Maybe my next question, like what industries would you say it holds a lot of value?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
And that this is where it gets really powerful for teams like for industries like incident management,
Okay.
or in the security world. A
Mhm.
lot of the day is spent collaborating, talking, and writing. And if we think about Canada, especially, we see organizations spread across huge geographies, right? We have municipalities, utilities, transportation agencies, emergency services. Collaboration tools like Teams are already critical, and adding location intelligence into that, they don't need to switch to another app to look at important metrics or important information changing in front of their eyes. That is, it makes those conversations they're having in Teams a lot more actionable. And like if we think about right now, we were all just talking about the weather before we started recording, and we're dealing with a lot of snow in Canada, or even a Canadian municipality dealing with whether it's snow clearing, flooding, a large public event. Teams are coordinating a lot using Microsoft Teams,
Yeah.
operations, communications, field crew. If we embed ArcGIS in that, everyone's looking at the same live data,
Yeah.
same road closures, same asset locations, same incidents at the exact same time. And some really big success stories come out of the ArcGIS for Teams add-in with the US election, with the World Cup.
Okay.
But yeah.
World Cup,
And
that's soccer, right?
that's soccer, yeah.
Yeah.
But any kind of event monitoring, the Teams
Yeah.
component could be useful.
Yeah. Really brings like organizations organizing things to the next level, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe we'll end it off on kind of an exciting note. Okay. So everyone's talking about AI tools and assistants right now. AI is very exciting. Are we seeing any of these advancements within like the Microsoft and Esri integrations?
We are in a couple different places. Since we were already talking about Teams,
Yeah.
and I mentioned it's very slept on, I think the AI tools and assistants in Teams are also something that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, actually.
Okay.
Teams brings in, that conversational interface, where you can, and most people are familiar with using AI assistants. I think a lot of our listeners should be, but you can literally ask for maps or data in plain English right in Teams. Something like, show me preserved farm data. And that AI powered assistant will return the relevant ArcGIS items right inside of Teams you haven't left.
Very cool.
So no complex queries, no jumping to an ArcGIS app and trying to figure out how to navigate it and search for content. Just natural language, instant results in Teams. But yeah, those co-pilot workflows get really, really powerful when organizations start building and tuning agents. I mentioned earlier about Power Automate. There's many ArcGIS connectors in Power Automate. You can create tools using agents that bring those spatial capabilities into automated processes. So if you imagine an agent that can query a feature layer or generate a PDF report from Survey 123, handling all that file management, handling that sharing automatically, this is really next level integration. So yes, hopefully saving people lots of time.
Yeah.
And then even the GIS teams, saving them time, putting some GIS work into the hands of other people and their everyday workflows too. So yeah.
And GIS teams are typically on the smaller side, I would say. So if they can save some time, pass some things off to other people.
Especially in our smaller municipalities.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay, well, Erica, that was plenty of amazing information about ArcGIS for Microsoft. So thank you very much for sharing your knowledge.
You are so welcome. And, if you have access to both Microsoft and ArcGIS Online, let's party. Try it out. Contact your Microsoft admin. They might be able to get you access to those add-ins if need be. And then if you don't have a named user in ArcGIS Online, you can always sign up for a free trial.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that. So that was Erica Corbett, a technical solutions specialist working with our Atlantic region. Erica, Malena, Catherine Ann, thank you all for joining me today and providing your expertise. We'll see you next time.
That brings us to the end of this edition of Getting Technical. From new platform capabilities to smarter data stewardship and evolving collaboration tools, staying current helps us all work more efficiently and think more creatively about what's possible with GIS. We'll be back next season with more updates to help you stay in sync with the ever-changing geospatial landscape. Until then, Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep thinking geographically.